Seahawks extend lead to 22-7 after Drake May interception in fourth quarter asterisk. The Seahawks are closing in on the franchise's second Super Bowl title after safety Julian Love returned an interception of Patriots quarterback Drake May to New England's 36-yard line. Seahawks running back Kenneth Walker picked up 24 yards over 2 carries to move the Seahawks into short field goal range. Jason Myers connected for the 5th time in 5 tries, and the Seahawks now lead 22-7. The 5 field goals are a new Super Bowl record. The Patriots showed that they can score quickly when they went 3 plays for a touchdown after falling behind 19-0 early in the fourth quarter. But that's been the exception, and there will only be 5:35 left to play when the Seahawks kick the ball back their way. Walker now has 25 carries for 131 yards, and he'll be a leading candidate for the game's MVP award if the Seahawks salt things away from here. Asterisk Santa Clara, Calif. When the Seattle Seahawks hired Mike Macdonald to be their head coach 2 years ago, it came at a time when most teams were looking for the next young offensive genius to lead their team. But McDonald had a reputation. The defense of Sean McVay was mentioned a few times about McDonald, who was the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator before he was hired by Seattle. In Super Bowl 60, McDonald proved the Seahawks right. Betting on coaches who know how to slow down the NFL's best offenses can also be a championship formula. The Seahawks won the second Super Bowl championship in franchise history and followed the same formula as the first title under the Legion of Boom, with a 29-13 victory over the New England Patriots at Levi's Stadium. They had a defensive performance for the ages, completely shutting down Drake May and the New England offense in a game that was rarely competitive because the Patriots couldn't move the ball. When A.J. Barner scored a 16-yard touchdown on a pass from Sam Darnold early in the fourth quarter, this Super Bowl finally had a touchdown, and the Seahawks had a commanding 19-0 lead. The low-scoring game wasn't aesthetically pleasing to the worldwide audience, but the Seahawks won't make any excuses when they raise a banner next September. In that first Seattle championship, the Seahawks scored 43 points and blew out the Denver Broncos. They didn't need nearly as many points to dominate the Patriots in another Super Bowl 12 years later, but the result was equally impressive. The Seahawks defense is stifling when the Seahawks won the first Super Bowl title in franchise history. The headliner was the defense. They almost shut out Peyton Manning and the Broncos, which had set an NFL regular season record with 606 points scored. The Seahawks weren't facing an offensive juggernaut like the 2013 Broncos on Sunday, but the Patriots were second in points scored and third in yards in the regular season, and they looked horrible against Seattle. McDonough said this when criticizing the Patriots over the blocking. May was under pressure often. He took 3 sacks in the first half. On the rare occasion he had time to throw, he was inaccurate. May hurt his right shoulder in the AFC Championship game, and that was a question in the lead-up to Super Bowl 60, and it seemed like it could have been affecting him. Seattle's defensive scheme was clearly affecting him, and the rest of the Patriots' offense. Asterisk, the bright spot for the Patriots was, despite the offense doing nothing, they still were hanging around in the game. The defense was giving up some yards, particularly to Kenneth Walker, 3 on the ground, but they held the Patriots to field goals and 4 long drives. The Seahawks led 9-0 at halftime, and extended that to 12-0 early in the third quarter. The Patriots were having trouble scoring points, and it was more than that. They were having trouble simply picking up first downs. When the Patriots got a first down on a defensive holding call with about a minute left in the third quarter, it had been about an hour and a half between first downs. Even accounting for a long Bad Bunny halftime show, it was a remarkable display of offensive ineptitude and defensive prowess. Both teams finally get in end zone. The Patriots finally got on the board in the fourth quarter, after Barner had scored the first touchdown. May hit some passes and got a 35-yard touchdown to Mac Hollins. The Patriots were still trailing 19-7, but for the first time, they had some signs of life. To that point, the Seahawks offense had been better than New England's offense, but it still hadn't been very good. The Patriots forced a punt right after Hollins' touchdown, and May had a long scramble to get a drive going. But May, who had started forcing the ball downfield in the fourth quarter, threw one to the middle of the field, and Seahawks safety Julian Love had an easy interception. With less than 9 minutes remaining, that practically wrapped up the win for Seattle. An interception for a 44-yard touchdown by Uchenna, NWOSU put a bow on the performance. Asterisk. The Seahawks went 14-3 in the regular season, losing 3 games by 9 combined points. They dominated the 49ers in the divisional round, got an impressive NFC Championship game win over the Rams, and then shut down the Patriots in the Super Bowl. All season, one of the themes had been that there was no great team during this season. The Seahawks might not have had the prettiest Super Bowl victory, but they were great for most of the season, and especially when McDonald's defense handled May and the Patriots in a lopsided Super Bowl win. Asterisk.